Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. Have you ever wondered who the scientist is? What do we know about him? Let's start with his background. Like G-Man, he was an astro, as evidenced by the halo in his photo. Like an astro, red eyes, 1.0 and 2.0 mechs, a red laser, and knowledge of their technology. An astro titan with a core, arms and legs, a shield, lasers, energy spheres, and hyperjump. Judging by the fact that he made 4 G-Man fakes, one of whom he stood up for, thereby turning Astro against himself, the scientist and G-Man were close comrades, presumably since they were both Astros. Subsequently, for their betrayal, both were stripped of all titles, technology, and even their red eyes, and exiled to Earth as cannon fodder. Throughout this time, we have seen that it was G-Man who fought on the front lines, hence he was, is, and will be the commander-in-chief, and the scientist was the chief scientist. Was. But did he really die? First of all, he was much smaller when he first appeared. Secondly, since the Astro invasion, we see them destroying the Skibidi Toilets. But then, how do they replenish their ranks? A high-tech race like this must have cloning technology. And since the scientist is an astro, he could have cloned himself between episodes 16 and 30 after nearly dying in the attack on his lab. This would explain the increase in his size, since genes that he could change at will are also responsible for his growth. In that case, what was stopping him from making more of his clones? Nothing, really. In that case, in the 70th episode, we saw the death of a clone. We have already seen a similar plot twist in other sci-fi animated series, Rick and Morty, as well as Unbreakable. But what's more interesting is that perhaps on the planet Astro, the scientist was cloned before his betrayal. In that case, he could appear on Earth and even fight on the side of the Astro against G-Man and even himself. What about Secret Agent who gave the scientist TV men's technology? Why would he do that? The fact that it was Secret Agent who gave it to the scientist is evidenced by his dialogue with the scientist, as well as by the fact that there were no TVs in the Alpha Hills warehouse of Stolen Alliance's technology, which is logical because in case of danger the TV men leave by teleport, so it's almost impossible to capture them and study the technology. Well, judging by DeFook's warning about the Astro invasion, he knew about it in advance. In that case, the secret agent could have negotiated an alliance between the Skibidi Toilets and the alliance with the scientist. Then he gave the TV men's technology to the scientist, and the scientist had to negotiate with G-Man to free Speakerman Titan from the parasite for the alliance to take place. But, as we learned in the 74th episode, he had been developing his Titan all along, thinking he could finish it before the Astro invasion and defeat the Alliance, thus earning amnesty for his betrayal of Astro. So the scientist betrayed Secret Agent by using the TV men's technology against the Alliance, for which he paid with his life. This is the end of the scientist's story, and we begin to look at his traits and abilities. Scientist first appeared in the 16th episode. He was the size of an ordinary Skibidi toilet. The toilet was white, and there were no upgrades. In the 30th episode, he grew to the size of a large cameraman. The toilet changed color to gray, probably now metallic. 2 small, simple arms were added to the sides, and a long claw was added to the back. There is a device attached to the left temple, probably a camera to record this and other experiments. We saw a similar one again in the next chief scientist. In the 32nd episode, he appeared again in this form, but without the camera on his temple, infecting Speakerman Titan with a parasite. We saw him again in a new manned robot mech, 28 episodes later in the 60th episode, and on to the 62nd, 65th, 66th, and 67th. Let's stop at the 65th to get a proper look. The toilet is metal. On the front, you can see TV Man Titan's columns from the 47th episode. They are capable of hitting unprotected cameramen with headphones at medium range, as well as repelling a large-sized opponent such as Titan Cameraman. They are more powerful than Titan Speakerman's speakers, as they were only able to push back Titan Cameraman, while this speaker system is able to bring him down on his back. They also act as an additional defense. The center speaker can be detached by the scientist to use the TV hidden behind it. It is flanked by 6 limbs, 4 legs, and 2 claws reinforced with armor plates. Their size and strength make them not only an additional means of attack, but also of defense. Thus, the scientist managed to block a melee attack of Cameraman Titan with them, as well as to throw off Speckerman Titan, who attacked from the back. There are two devices on the back, probably receiving and transmitting a signal. A gun is attached to the right temple. Interestingly, in episode 61, he fired it like a laser, and in episode 67, he fired it like an artillery gun. This is probably due to the changing of the gun between episodes. The number 2, seen after the gun is broken by Titan Speakerman, may also be related to this. Or the number indicates a version of the mech, since we know there were 2, and this one is obviously the more advanced one, i.e. 2.0. The design of the left eye, unlike G-Man's fakes, protrudes outward, and its laser color is red, just like the right eye. The TV, developed by the scientist based on TV Men's technology handed over by Secret Agent, worked in red, self-destructing, and violet, hypnotizing radiation, probably also capable of other types of radiation. The TV's durability is low. It can withstand a hit from a handheld rocket launcher, but a knife throw was enough to incapacitate it. It was probably the knife with which Titan TV Man teleported at the end of the 47th episode. As with TV Man Titan, if the TV was split into multiple screens, it wouldn't be incapacitated by a single attack. Like TV Men, the scientist can teleport items and allies along with himself, but why didn't he teleport away from TV Man Titan in episode 67, even though we saw black smoke appear, and in episode 65 it only took him 2 seconds to fully teleport? Either TV Man Titan has more control over the smoke and interrupted the scientist's teleportation, or the scientist hasn't replenished his smoke supply in a long time, so there just wasn't enough of it to teleport. This is supported by the moment in episode 70 when the big TV man sucked out all of the scientist's smoke supply and he couldn't teleport. He has a tentacle in his mouth. This is the tentacle used by the scientist to remove the protective lens from Cameraman Titan. 2 more tentacles behind his back. These were first used on the Skibidi Toilet in the 44th episode against Titan TV Man. Scientists used them more effectively due to the long-range medium-power weapons held in them: acid, laser, missile. A total of 2 acid, 1 laser, and 2 missile weapons were used. There is no jetpack or booster. After the loss of the scientist's 2.0 mech, we saw the scientist himself in episode 67 and episode 70. Compared to the 30th episode, he received many upgrades: 4 legs and 2 deadly claws, which were used to tear Darkspeaker in 2. The scientist was also able to easily take down Plunger. Although he has 4 legs, his movement speed leaves a lot to be desired. The powerful jetpack of 2 rocket engines makes up for this. In flight, the scientist tucks his legs. Armor plates are mounted on the front and back. The one on the front covers the scientist's control panel, which gives access to the entire Alpha Hills complex, such as laser guns and doors, as well as its own teleporter. The one at the back covers the laser gun. Just above the armor plate is a device that resembles an antenna. The laser's power is medium-high. It inflicts critical damage to small agents, for example. Darkspeaker died shortly after its attack, and Plunger, covered by a hand weapon, was torn in 2. The attack on the large TV man, however, did no visible damage. The scientist's toilet bowl is definitely metal, as a ceramic one would shatter from the many blows of Titan Speakerman. There are rods around the perimeter of the toilet rim. This fixture is probably designed to protect against flushing. After losing 2.0 mech and being hit by agents, the scientist used another mech. This is probably the prototype, i.e., the 1.0 mech, as it looks much more primitive. The toilet is metal. Armor plates are missing. Arms and legs are absent. Movement is accomplished by a jetpack. On the sides are 4 compact but powerful lasers and 2 guns, probably artillery guns, as they were not used with the lasers. 2 red eyes are hidden behind goggles that protect TV Man Titan from radiation. Interestingly, a few shots could be seen of the mech from inside, but other than the monitor and the women agents getting close, nothing can be seen there. This mech would later be captured by TV Woman and destroyed by G-Man. After capturing the scientist, the Titans should have at least kept him alive for further interrogation about the plans and vulnerabilities of the Skibidi Toilet's technology he was primarily involved in developing. Well, as I said at the beginning of the video, it's very likely that the scientist managed to make a clone version of himself back when he was an Astro Toilet. That's why my team and I created this poster, where we imagine what he might have looked like in his original version. And with all that said, there's hope that we'll see him again in the series. Imagine how surprised G-Man will be when he gets to fight for real with his former friend and not the fake that TV woman was inside. Write in the comments which character showdown you'd like to see next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Like if you liked the video. Don't forget, by the way, to download my game Toilet Run. The link is in the description.